Oh, it's them.
I feel so terrible for what happened.
The scene opens with a wide shot of a quiet suburban street. The houses are well kept, the lawns are neatly trimmed. It's a picturesque day, sunlight dapples through the trees, children ride bikes and cars pass by. But something feels wrong. Something is off. Bright, bold posters are pasted on every lamppost, wall and storefront. The message on each poster is blunt, stark, impossible to ignore. My wife is dying. She has cancer. No one can save her. The words are written in large, harsh letters. The photo accompanying it shows a woman, Maya, in her late 30s, looking weary, thin, with a sense of deep sorrow in her eyes. She appears fragile, but her pain is not just physical, it's emotional. The image catches the eye of passers-by who stop, whisper, and stare, a mix of curiosity, sympathy, and discomfort in their gazes. We hear the distant hum of traffic, muffled whispers, and the soft rustling of the trees. The suburban calm is now tinged with tension, as the camera focuses on the faces of people reacting to the posters, shaking their heads, some muttering to one another. Introduce the protagonist, David. Cut to David, a middle-aged man with deep lines etched into his face. His hair is unkempt and his clothes are a little too loose. His face is drawn, weary. He looks like a man who hasn't slept in days, a man on the edge. David walks the street slowly, his eyes scanning the posters. He moves past the neighbors who whisper behind their hands, some shaking their heads in disbelief. They look at him with a mix of pity and judgment. He doesn't seem to notice or care. His gaze is distant, fixed on something deeper than the immediate world around him. David's internal monologue begins, a deep, emotional reflection, setting the tone of his inner turmoil. David, I never thought it would come to this. Her face on every corner. Our private pain, out there for everyone to see. I didn't know what else to do. I wanted them to know. I wanted them to feel it. What it's like to watch someone you love slowly slip away. What it's like to hold their hand as they fade. David's steps are slow, as if weighed down by guilt, grief, and a growing sense of helplessness. The camera follows him as he pauses at a poster, staring at the photograph of Maya, his hands trembling slightly. The illness, flashbacks and inner monologue. The scene shifts into a flashback. We see David and Maya at the hospital a few years ago. Maya, smiling weakly but clearly in pain, holds David's hand. She's thinner than he remembers, pale but trying to hide it. Maya, smiling faintly, it's not so bad. I'm going to be okay. David, hesitant, trying to reassure her, of course you will. We'll beat this. Together. But the camera lingers on David's eyes, a flash of doubt in them, he's not so sure. The hope in his eyes is fading, replaced by fear he can't quite hide. Flash forward to the present. David's inner monologue continues. David, she said she was fine, but I knew. I saw it in her eyes. She was fading. And I couldn't do anything. I thought I could fix her. But how do you fix something that's dying? The camera focuses on David again as he looks up at the street around him. The sunlight is warm, but the world feels cold to him. He begins to walk faster, unable to stand still. The posters are everywhere, he can't escape them. He stops at one poster, his fingers brushing against the edges of the paper. A soft whisper of his voice. David, whispering, I didn't know how to make you see me, Maya. To make you see us, before it was too late. The emotion in David's voice is raw, filled with frustration, guilt, and the heavy weight of love that's been twisted into something he can no longer bear. David's internal conflict, the poster campaign. Cut to David's home later that night. He's sitting at the kitchen table, a large stack of posters in front of him. He's methodically putting the last touches on each one, gluing the edges, making sure the words are clear, the image of Maya framed perfectly. His hands tremble as he works, his eyes distant, focused only on the task. There's a feeling of desperation in his movements. Each poster is a cry for help, a desperate plea for attention. His mind is consumed by the thought that if people only saw, if they only understood the depth of his suffering, maybe they would help him, maybe they would show him the way out of this nightmare. The camera moves to show his eyes, bloodshot and weary as his mind spirals. David Vo, maybe if they knew, maybe if the whole world saw, then they'd understand. They'd understand how hard it is to watch someone you love slowly disappear and feel completely powerless to do anything. There's a flash of anger in his eyes, a flicker of resentment. David, she's fading and I'm stuck. Stuck watching, stuck waiting, stuck. He slams his fist against the table. I can't fix this. I can't fix her. And no one else can either. Flashback, the illness takes its toll. Another flashback. It's late at night. Maya is lying in bed, her face pale, her breathing labored. She winces as she shifts, trying to make herself comfortable. David sits next to her, looking at her with a mixture of love and helplessness. David reaches out to touch her hand, but Maya pulls it away slightly. She's ashamed of how weak she's become. Maya, softly, I don't want you to see me like this. David tries to hide his hurt, but it's clear, he's struggling too. His voice is soft, tinged with frustration. David, I just want to help you. But I don't know how anymore. In this moment, their marriage seems to have shifted. No longer a partnership between two people, but a caregiver and a patient. A dynamic that neither of them is prepared for. The flashback ends as David stands up from the table, the posters now ready. He picks them up with trembling hands, holding them as if they are his lifeline, his last chance to fix something that feels beyond saving. A desperate act. David heads out the door, the stack of posters in his arms. The night is still, but as he walks down the street, his heart beats loudly in his chest. Each step feels like a decision, like he's diving deeper into something he doesn't understand. The camera follows David as he begins to post the flyers, his actions methodical. The camera focuses on his face, his blank expression torn between guilt, frustration, and a desperate need to make the world see. To see him. To see her. To see everything they've lost. The fallout from the posters. The scene opens with the camera slowly moving over the suburban street the following morning. The sun is higher now, casting a warmer light, but the atmosphere feels tense. The posters are everywhere. Each lamppost, storefront, and telephone pole is covered with them, the same blunt message plastered across the town. The camera pans across the neighborhood, showing a mix of reactions from the residents. Some people stand by their windows, peering out with frowns of concern. Others are walking on the sidewalks, pointing, muttering to each other, and shaking their heads. The camera briefly lingers on a young mother pushing a stroller who slows down, her face drawn with pity as she reads one of the posters. Young mother, whispering to herself, shaking her head, "What's he doing? This is wrong." Cut to David, standing near the corner of the street, watching the reactions unfold. His eyes are heavy, a slight tremor in his hands as he watches people read the posters. He's trying to act nonchalant, but there's a sense of dread settling in. David, I thought they'd understand. Maybe if they saw, maybe they'd understand what I'm going through. But they don't. They never will. As David continues to walk down the street, we hear hushed whispers from a nearby group of neighbors. Neighbor 1 whispering he's sick. Taking her sickness public, it's cruel. Neighbor 2 whispering, how could he do that to her? That's their private battle. Who does that? David's face hardens as he overhears the judgment. He feels the sting of their words but doesn't react. Instead, he walks past them, his gaze fixed straight ahead. The camera focuses on David's expression, a mask of emotional exhaustion mixed with defiance. He keeps walking, but his movements have slowed, his shoulders heavy with the weight of everyone's eyes on him. Maya's reaction. Cut to the inside of Maya and David's home. Maya is sitting on the couch, staring at a tablet. The screen shows a picture of one of the posters with the same cold message, her face on display for the entire world to see. Her face is pale, her lips quiver as she blinks back tears. She scrolls through her social media feed, where friends and acquaintances are commenting, some offering their support, others questioning David's motives. She lowers the tablet, rubbing her face with both hands in frustration and disbelief. Maya, whispering to herself, I never wanted this. Not like this. I don't want them to see me. Not this way. There's a knock on the door. Maya hesitates, wiping the tears from her eyes. When she opens it, it's her best friend, Laura, standing there with a worried look on her face. Laura, Maya? I saw the posters. What's going on? Why didn't you tell me? Maya steps back, clearly torn. Her vulnerability is evident. She feels exposed, trapped by David's actions. She forces a smile, though it's weak. Maya, softly, he thought it would help. Thought it would make people understand. Laura, understand what, Maya? You're not the one who needs to be fixed. Why did he put you out there like that? Maya turns away, looking out the window. The pain of being seen, of having her suffering broadcasted to the world, is too much. She suddenly feels completely exposed. Her illness isn't hers anymore, it belongs to everyone. Maya, I want to scream. I want to disappear. But I can't, because David doesn't understand. He thinks this is about him. But it's not. It's not. David's guilt and desire for redemption. Cut to David in his car, parked on the side of the road. He's been sitting there for hours, his mind spinning. The weight of what he's done is finally sinking in. He stares at the steering wheel, his fingers curled around it in an iron grip. His jaw tightens, his breath shallow as he replays the day in his mind. Hearing the whispers, seeing the looks of pity and disdain. David, what did I think? That they would care? That they would help? I put her out there. And now I don't know how to take it back. He runs a hand through his hair, frustration mounting as he slams his fist against the dashboard, startling himself. The pain of knowing he's made things worse, not better, is almost unbearable. David stares at his phone, debating whether to call Maya, but he knows she's probably just as lost in her own pain. He takes a deep breath, trying to calm himself, but it doesn't help. The guilt tightens around him like a vice. The root of the conflict. The screen fades to another flashback, this time to when David and Maya were once happy. The flashback shows them at the beginning of her illness, still hopeful, still full of life. They're sitting at a small cafe, laughing together, fingers intertwined. Maya is glowing, full of warmth, as David gazes at her with admiration. David, laughing, you know, you're still the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Maya smiles, her eyes sparkling with joy. Maya, and you're still the most impossible man I've ever known. They share a quiet, loving look. A moment of unfiltered connection that feels far away from their current reality. The disease had not yet crept into their lives. They had dreams, plans, and the future was full of possibilities. As the flashback ends, we return to the present. The painful contrast between the happy couple they once were and the strained, broken relationship they have now. David, we were in love. She was everything to me. But now, it's different. She's different. I'm different. And I can't fix it. The poster campaign, A Cry for Help. David is at the kitchen table, looking at a printout of one of the posters. His hands are shaking as he picks it up and stares at it. There's a deep, growing frustration inside him. A sense of powerlessness that has driven him to act in desperate ways. David, this is the only way. I thought maybe if I showed everyone, maybe they'd help. Maybe if I made them see her pain, they'd stop pretending everything's fine. But all I see is their pity, and I don't know if that's better or worse than the silence. David stands up abruptly, anger building inside him. He gathers the posters, heading back out to the streets, each step feeling heavier than the last. David, I'm doing this for her. For both of us. As he walks through the neighborhood again, the camera lingers on his face. There's a mix of determination and desperation in his eyes. A man who's come to believe that the world must understand his pain or else he'll break. Maya's reaction, the confrontation. Cut to the living room of Maya and David's home. Maya is sitting on the couch, her face pale and weary, still staring at her phone. The notifications on her screen are relentless. Comments, messages, and posts about the posters. Her face contorts in disbelief and anger as she scrolls through them. Her hands shake as she clutches the phone tightly. Maya, whispering to herself, reading aloud, I can't believe he did this. Why did he think this would help? Suddenly, the front door slams open. David enters, looking disheveled and exhausted, his eyes red from lack of sleep. He doesn't speak at first, but his presence fills the room with tension. Maya doesn't look up. David, softly, almost apologetic, Maya? Maya cuts him off, her voice sharp and broken. Maya, you thought this would help? You thought putting my sickness on a poster would fix anything? You wanted people to see me like that? A picture of me, sick, weak, for everyone to see? What did you want, David? Sympathy? David stands frozen for a moment, struggling to find words. His expression is torn between guilt and frustration. David, I thought, maybe if they saw it, if they understood, maybe they'd care. I thought it would help, Maya. I thought it would make you feel seen. Maya, shaking her head, tears welling in her eyes, you made me a spectacle. You turned me into something for people to pity. You humiliated me, David. Her voice cracks, the raw pain evident in every word. David flinches, his heart breaking as he watches her break down. His own emotions are a tangled mess, guilt, regret, and an overwhelming sense of helplessness. Maya, you think this is love? This is not love, David. You didn't see me. You didn't see me, the woman you married. You only saw your own pain and used mine as a way to make it stop. But it won't stop like this. David's face crumples, his eyes filling with tears as he reaches out toward her. David, softly, desperately, I couldn't do it anymore, Maya. I couldn't watch you slip away and feel like there was nothing I could do. I needed them to understand. Maya, coldly, you think they'll understand? You think they'll fix this? You're wrong. You're so wrong. This isn't about them, David. This is about us. There's a long, painful silence. Maya looks away from him, her shoulders shaking as she tries to control her emotions. David stands there, the weight of his actions sinking in. He doesn't know how to make it right, and the guilt overwhelms him. He walks over to the window and stares out, lost in thought. David, though, what have I done? She's right. I've taken our pain and turned it into something for others to judge, for others to feel pity for. And now I can't take it back. The tension hangs in the room, palpable. Maya is exhausted, defeated by the actions of the man who's supposed to love and protect her. She pulls a pillow into her lap, her eyes drifting to the photo of them together from before. She swallows hard, trying to hold back tears. Maya, softly, I'm tired, David. I'm so tired of this fight. David's guilt and desire for redemption, self-reflection. David walks out of the room, unable to speak further. He leaves the house and walks aimlessly through the streets, the weight of his choices pressing down on him with every step. The camera follows him as he walks past the familiar neighborhood, the very streets where his life with Maya once felt full of promise. Now, every step feels like a march toward his own undoing. The scene slows as David comes to a stop in front of a street lamp, his reflection in the glass looking distorted in the reflection of the poster he's just passed. David, I thought they'd care. I thought they'd see me, see what I was going through. But now they just see a man who's made his wife's suffering public for attention. How could I have been so selfish? David collapses onto a nearby bench, burying his face in his hands. The tears come unbidden, raw and uncontrollable. His guilt is too much to bear. His mind races back to earlier moments in their marriage, when everything felt like it could be fixed, when there was still hope. Flashback to a moment in their life before the illness took hold. The two of them are walking in a park on a sunny day, laughing as they share an inside joke. Maya's smile is radiant. She's healthy, vibrant, full of life. David, laughing, you're going to make me fall for you all over again. Maya grinning, good. That's exactly the plan. Back to the present. The flashback ends as David wipes his eyes and stands. He's still lost, still unsure of how to fix things, but the weight of Maya's pain lingers over him. David, I need to make it right. But how? How do I take this back? The root of the conflict, a glimpse into the past. Cut to another flashback, a more recent memory. David and Maya are sitting on the couch, staring at the television, but neither of them is watching. Maya is sitting close to David, but there's a growing distance between them. Her hand rests limply in his. Maya, I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending everything's okay. David looks at her, his expression tense, caught between the desire to comfort her and the fear that nothing will be enough. David, quietly, it will be, Maya. It has to be. Maya's gaze drops to her hands, tears brimming in her eyes. She nods, but there's no conviction in it. She knows the truth. David's face hardens as he remembers those moments. His voice cracks as he recalls how, over time, their once shared life had become one of caregiving and duty rather than love and partnership. David, we're both drowning. She's trying to hide it and I'm trying to fix it. But nothing works. I couldn't fix her and now I can't even fix me. We're both lost. The camera lingers on David's face as he watches the world around him. The quiet suburban streets have never felt more empty. Every poster he put up, every whispered comment, is a reminder that he's failed, both as a husband and as a man who once had hope. Maya's perspective, alone in the house. Cut to Maya in the living room, now alone. The house is still and the silence presses in. She walks over to the window and looks out, watching the street outside. The posters are still up, a constant reminder of the mess David has made. She looks tired, like she's given up, like the fight has left her. She reaches for her phone, her fingers trembling as she scrolls through the messages from friends, family, even strangers who have seen the posters. Some offer sympathy, others criticize David's actions. But all she feels is shame. Shame for being seen, for being made into something that's not her. She suddenly drops the phone onto the couch and walks to the kitchen, where she pours herself a glass of water. She leans against the counter, taking deep breaths to steady herself. Maya, I'm still here, but for how much longer? I'm not just sick. I'm dying. And I'm alone. The camera focuses on her hand trembling as she holds the glass, and her eyes well with tears. It's clear that the emotional toll of being reduced to a spectacle is far heavier than the disease itself. David's desperation, searching for redemption. The camera shows David, now alone, sitting in his car. The street is bathed in the soft glow of evening light, but there's an overwhelming sense of emptiness around him. His hands grip the steering wheel, knuckles white. He stares at the dashboard, his mind racing. The posters. The whispers. Maya's tear-streaked face. His mind is a storm. David, what am I doing? What have I done? I thought, maybe if I could make people see, if I could make them feel something, it would somehow fix everything. But it hasn't. It's made it worse. I thought it was for her, but I only made her feel smaller. How did I not see it? David slams his fist on the dashboard, startling himself. The sound is sharp and angry, but it's more than just frustration. It's desperation. A feeling of being completely lost, unable to find a way back to the person he was before everything fell apart. He looks up at the street, at the fading daylight, then his gaze shifts to the house in front of him. Maya's house, their house. He doesn't know what to do next. He could go inside. He could apologize, but what would that even mean now? David, I thought I was helping. But now I realize, I've only pushed her further away. David takes a deep breath as though bracing himself. Then, almost mechanically, he starts the car and pulls away from the curb. He's heading back home, but it's not just the physical distance he's trying to cover. It's the emotional distance that's growing between him and Maya. Maya's internal struggle, confronting her pain. Back at home, Maya is sitting on the couch, staring blankly at the walls. The house feels like a tomb, empty except for the hum of the refrigerator and the muffled sounds of the world outside. Her phone lies on the coffee table, buzzing intermittently with notifications, but she doesn't pick it up. She finally stands up, walking to the window and staring out at the street. She watches the cars go by, each person in a hurry, each person with somewhere to go. She feels like she's standing still, stuck in a life that's slipping away. She's isolated, trapped not just by her illness but by the way David has treated her. Her entire existence has become a source of public spectacle, and it's suffocating. Her eyes are heavy with exhaustion, and her movements slow, as if each step requires more effort than the last. She reaches the kitchen, grabs a glass of water, and leans against the counter, closing her eyes for a moment. Then she opens them, as though startled by the sudden sense of loneliness that settles in her chest. Maya, all I ever wanted was someone to hold my hand through this, to be with me. But now it feels like he's holding my illness instead of me. Like he's carrying my pain, not my love. She sets the glass down and looks at her reflection in the kitchen window. The woman looking back at her is almost unrecognizable, a shell of who she used to be. And it's not just the illness. It's the emotional toll of feeling abandoned by the one person who was supposed to love her through it all. Maya, how did we get here? Why didn't we fight this together? Why does it feel like we're just falling apart? She steps away from the window, her movements heavy, as though the weight of her emotions is physically pulling her down. She goes to the couch and collapses, pulling the blanket around her as if it could shield her from the world. David's return, the confrontation. Cut to David arriving home. The street is quiet and the house is dark, save for the faint glow of light coming from the living room. He hesitates before getting out of the car, his heart pounding in his chest. He's not sure what he's walking into. The tension between him and Maya is thicker than ever, and he's afraid of what might happen when they finally face each other again. He stands there for a moment, staring at the house. Is this where it ends? Is this where they both give up, trapped in their own sorrow, unable to reach out to each other? David, I don't know what to say anymore. I've made all the wrong choices and now I have to live with them. But I still love her. I still want to fight for us. David opens the door and steps inside. The house is eerily quiet. He calls out softly, his voice tentative. David, Maya? Are you here? Maya doesn't respond. He steps further into the living room, noticing her sitting on the couch, staring out the window. Her posture is slumped, as though the weight of the world is resting on her shoulders. The sight of her, so fragile, so distant, makes David's heart ache. He approaches her slowly, unsure of how to proceed. When he reaches the couch, he stands in front of her, but she still doesn't look up. The distance between them is palpable. David, softly, Maya, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. I thought it would help, but I see now that it only made things worse. Please look at me. Maya slowly lifts her gaze, her eyes red and swollen from crying. There's a long silence as they stare at each other, the weight of everything unspoken hanging heavily in the air. The tension is unbearable, but there's also a quiet desperation, a need to make things right. Maya, softly, you don't get it, David. It's not just about the posters. It's about everything that's happened. It's about how you stopped seeing me as your partner, and started seeing me as your responsibility. David's breath catches, the truth of her words cutting deep. He drops to his knees in front of her, his face full of regret. His voice trembles as he speaks. David, I'm sorry. I never meant to treat you like that. I didn't know how to handle it. I felt like I was losing you and I didn't know what to do. But that was no excuse for what I did. I've been a selfish fool. Maya takes a deep breath, her voice shaking as she responds. Maya, I know you love me, David. But love isn't just about wanting to fix things. It's about being there even when you can't fix them. It's about showing up, not just for the good times but for the pain too. David looks up at her, tears welling in his eyes. He's finally beginning to understand. But the damage has already been done, and it's clear that both of them are left with pieces of what used to be whole. The pivotal moment, a moment of truth. David takes her hand, his grip gentle but sincere. David, I don't know how to make it better, Maya. I don't know how to fix us, but I want to try. I don't want to lose you. Maya's eyes soften as she looks at him, and for a moment, the weight of their pain feels lighter. She doesn't say anything, but she doesn't pull her hand away either. It's a fragile moment of connection, a tentative step toward healing. The camera lingers on their hands, holding each other, small but significant, like the first glimmer of hope in a storm. A breaking point, the terminal news. The scene opens with a low, oppressive sound. The light in the room is muted, fading as the evening wears on. Maya is lying in bed, her eyes closed, resting. The camera pans over her face, pale, fragile, as though the weight of everything is too much for her to bear. A soft knock on the door interrupts the silence. David enters slowly, holding an envelope in his hands. His face is tight with tension and his eyes are bloodshot. He's been awake for hours, waiting. The letter he holds is the one he's feared for weeks. David, softly, Maya. I need to talk to you. Maya opens her eyes, her expression weary, but she doesn't speak. She knows something is wrong. The silence between them is heavy, like something unsaid has been hanging in the air for too long. David sits at the edge of the bed, holding the letter up between them. His voice cracks as he speaks. David, I just got the results from the doctor. The cancer, it's terminal. She said, we don't have much time. Maya's face pales even more, her eyes widening. She blinks as though the words don't quite sink in, as if she's hoping they're not real. She looks at David, searching his face for reassurance, but all she finds is the same pain that's reflected in her own eyes. Maya whispering, how long? David, voice trembling, a few months. Maybe less. The words hang between them, a death sentence, a finality neither of them was prepared for. Maya turns her face away, her eyes brimming with tears, but she doesn't cry yet. The shock is too much. David watches her in agony as if he can't bear to see her like this, but he can't look away. His heart is breaking. There's a long silence. David puts the letter down on the nightstand and looks at Maya, his hands shaking. She doesn't meet his gaze. David, quietly, I'm sorry, Maya. I never wanted this for us. I thought I could fix it. I thought I could save you. Maya turns her head slowly to look at him, her expression blank, distant. She's trying to process what's been said, but the words are suffocating. She feels the walls closing in. Maya, with quiet intensity, David, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of pretending that we can fix everything. The truth is, we can't. David's heart clenches at her words. The despair in her voice is more painful than anything he's ever felt. He reaches out to touch her hand, but she pulls it away gently, almost instinctively. Maya, you've been fighting for both of us and I've been fighting too. But I can't do this anymore, David. I can't keep pretending that we can beat this, that we can turn back time. David, at a loss for words, looks at her with desperate eyes. His mind races, but he doesn't know how to help her. All the mistakes he's made, the posters, the public spectacle, the resentment, all of it feels insignificant now in the face of this final truth. David, voice breaking, I'm not ready to lose you. I don't know how to say goodbye. Maya's face softens for a moment, and she reaches out to touch his hand lightly. Her fingers tremble as they make contact. It's a tender, fragile gesture, a moment of connection in the middle of their pain. Maya, softly, I know you're not ready, David, but you have to let me go. It's not about saving me anymore. It's about letting go and loving me until the end. David is silent, the weight of her words pressing down on him. He squeezes her hand, holding on for as long as he can, but the truth is undeniable. The distance between them has never felt wider. He wants to fight to fix it, but there's nothing left to fix. David, how do you hold on to someone who's slipping away piece by piece? How do you fight against the inevitable when it's already here? I can't save her. I can't save us. Maya's own struggle, confessions and realizations. The room feels smaller, suffocating as Maya continues to look at him. She speaks again, her voice quieter but more resolute. Maya, I've been hiding it, David. Hiding my pain, not just physical but emotional. I've been scared. Scared to admit that I might not make it. Scared of what that means for us, for you. But I'm not scared anymore. Her eyes lock onto his, and for the first time in what feels like forever, there's clarity in her gaze. The illness, the pain, the emotional exhaustion, it's all become something she can't ignore anymore. She's ready to face it, to stop pretending that everything will be okay. Maya, softly, with a sad smile, I wanted us to have more time, but maybe the time we have left is all we're going to get. David's chest tightens as her words land. He wants to say something, to fix it, to make everything better. But there's no answer. No words left to speak that can change their reality. David, whispering, I failed you, Maya. I've been selfish. All I've done is make it worse. I thought I was helping, but I wasn't. Maya shakes her head slightly, not in anger, but in resignation. She knows the truth, they both failed. But she doesn't want to dwell on it anymore. Maya, softly, we both made mistakes, David. We both tried. But sometimes the hardest part is just letting go. Not because we don't love each other, but because we have to face the truth. There's a quiet, heavy pause between them. The finality of her words seems to hang in the air, impossible to escape from. A life-changing decision, David's moment of clarity. David stands up, suddenly feeling a wave of urgency. He walks across the room to the window, staring out at the street below. The world outside is still, almost as if it's waiting for him to make a decision. His eyes scan the world outside, but his mind isn't on the posters or the whispers anymore. He's not concerned with what people think. He's only focused on one thing, Maya. David, all I can do now is be here. Be here with her, for whatever time we have left. I don't need the world to see her pain. I don't need anyone else to validate our love. It's just us now. David walks back to the bed and sits down next to Maya. He takes her hand again, his grip steady this time, his voice calm and resolute. David, I can't fix everything, Maya, but I can love you. And I will until the very end. You're not alone. Maya smiles weakly, her eyes filled with tears, but there's a sense of peace in her gaze now. The anger and frustration have faded, replaced by an acceptance of the painful reality they both face. She leans her head against his shoulder, her breath steadying as she lets herself rest. Maya whispering, thank you. Thank you for staying. The camera lingers on them, sitting together in the quiet, the love between them palpable even in the face of everything they've lost. A final reflection, the aftermath. The scene opens a few weeks after Maya's passing. The camera shows the house, now empty and quiet. The air feels different, still heavy with memories of what was. The faint morning light casts long shadows in the living room, and the walls seem to echo with a silence that was once filled with shared laughter and love. David stands by the window looking out at the street below. He hasn't moved much from this spot since Maya passed. His eyes are tired, but there is a new understanding in them now. He has faced his grief, his guilt, and his regret, and has found a fragile peace. The camera lingers on David as he takes a deep breath, letting it out slowly. His reflection in the glass is soft, almost distant, but there's a quiet strength in his posture. The camera moves slowly around him, capturing the weight of time moving forward without Maya beside him. David, it's strange really. Life keeps going. The world doesn't stop. People go on living and they forget. But I won't forget. I can't forget. I'll carry her with me. In everything I do, I'll carry her. David's eyes settle on the photos scattered on the coffee table, a collection of memories from their life together. His hand hovers over one picture in particular. It's of Maya laughing in a park, healthy and vibrant. He smiles softly, the pain of the past still sharp but manageable. He picks up the photo, his thumb brushing across her smiling face, a gesture of love and remembrance. David's journey forward. A new beginning. Cut to David standing at the front door holding a small box. The box is full of letters, keepsakes, and memories that have been carefully preserved. Memories of Maya, their time together. He hesitates for a moment, looking at the empty house behind him. David takes a deep breath, his face a mixture of grief and acceptance. He steps outside, his footsteps firm and steady, heading down the street. The camera follows him from behind, capturing his movement as he walks toward the neighborhood park. David, I used to think that time would fix everything, that it would somehow make me feel whole again. But time doesn't fix. It heals. It teaches us how to live with the pain, how to keep moving forward. As David walks, the camera zooms out, showing the empty street. The world is still turning, but David is moving at his own pace. He's finally letting go, not in defeat, but in peace. When he reaches the park, he stops at a small bench by a flower bed, an area they used to visit together. He sits down and places the box gently beside him. After a moment of silence, he opens it and begins to pull out a letter, one he had never written but always wished he could. It's a final act of closure, a chance to say what he never could. David, Maya, I don't know if you'll ever hear this, but I need you to know that I've learned. I've learned how to love in ways I didn't understand before. I've learned how to let go. He pauses, holding the letter, the weight of his words settling in the air. David, and I forgive myself too. For all the mistakes, for all the things I couldn't fix. You love me anyway and I love you. Always. David folds the letter carefully, slipping it back into the box. He takes a deep breath, his chest rising and falling slowly. For the first time in a long time, his heart feels lighter, as though a burden has been lifted. He stands up from the bench, the box in hand, and walks to a nearby tree. He places the box gently at the base, a final act of letting go, an offering to the earth, to the memories of Maya that he'll carry forever. The camera pulls back as he stands in the park, looking out at the world around him. The soft sound of birds in the distance is the only noise, a reminder that life continues even after loss. David's new beginning, a step toward healing. The final scene shows David standing at the edge of the park, looking out at the horizon. The sun is beginning to set, casting a golden light across the sky. He's no longer the broken man he was when the story began. There's a quiet strength in him now, a man who has faced his darkest moments and is learning to move forward, not without pain but with acceptance. He turns and begins walking back home, his pace steady, his heart open to whatever lies ahead. The camera follows him for a moment, capturing his steps as he walks toward the future, one step at a time. David, the world doesn't stop for grief and maybe it shouldn't. But I've learned to move with it. To carry my past, my love and my pain, but not to let it define me. Maya taught me that. Love is more than just what we hold on to. It's what we give away even when it hurts. The camera pulls back, showing David walking down the street, a small but steady figure moving toward the horizon. The fading light from the setting sun bathes him in a soft glow, and for the first time he doesn't look back. He's moving forward, slowly but surely.